Good morning, everyone. How are you? Tomorrow is Friday. That means it's time management time. What's up, Jakey Bakey? First one on there with team and Andrew. That's a mighty trio. Welcome, everybody. Yes, do you notice? 3 days in a row with the exact same shirt to promote my boys at Working Stiffs, the strongest magnetic collar stays that have ever been in existence. I like them so much. I can't wait to get the golf stays for the golf shirts, man. Looking good, everyone. Let's get some questions moving. Everybody in here, welcome, Blaine. Good to see you. Georgiana is on here. We want to let her join. All right, let me look. I don't see her in the waiting room, but you say she's here. That's a good sign. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Let's get going right away with the little Q&A. I do not see everybody. I got called weird. Hey, congratulations. They'll laugh at you, scoff at you, make fun of you. Then they will applaud you. I promise. They will applaud. Just stick to what it is. Jessie, thank you so much for coming on here with a question. What to do when you find yourself stubborn, so it's hard to be a ferocious Buddha? First of all, you got to be stubborn to be ferocious. You got to be stubborn against the ego-based consciousness that exists. And stubborn is a good thing. That means you're consistent and persistent. So I like stubborn people. I like stubborn people that are stubborn about staying consistent and persistent, but yet open-minded in a peaceful state of mind to learn and grow and accelerate and to be hypocrites and to change their mind and to take inventory of their values. So it's a great balance. It's a great blend. Exceed your potential. I like that. Samir, welcome. The great Samir, Georgiana. There we go. I'm really curious here. We have so many good guests that come on. What's the topic of discussion? Topic of discussion right now is going to be buying low and selling high. That's what I'm going to make this discussion about. Hey, what's going on?
How you doing?
Good. What's that piece of art behind you? I like that.
Oh, you like that? Yeah, it's a peace sign. I couldn't get the whole thing in, but you know what?
That's what I thought.
I'm actually in a room that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 peace signs.
And 11 is my lucky number. I was born on January 11th.
There we go.
There we go.
What 11 is good. 11 is good. We got 11 because I really want to put the peace out. So
yeah, well, that's the way you make your decisions. And speaking of which, obviously in the jewelry business, I was with the exotic car guy yesterday, selling and buying Ferraris. I'm really interested because I want people to learn. And jewelry is one of those industries where people buy on emotion. For logical reasons. When people buy on emotions, that means it's an area where they're oversold and overbought. It also, right? And it also means there's a perceived value. So these are the places where I really want to teach people where margins are made, and that people that get really good at being unemotional about the true value and being able to provide and manage expectations can, throughout history, make a ton of money in the jewelry business. And I'd love to see, number one, how'd you get started in the business? And then how do you know when something's oversold or overbought?
Well, we got started completely by accident, right? So I was one of those people that had all these amazing business ideas, and this was not one of them. So, we when we started off, we thought, okay, we're going to do this, and we're going to do this and this and that. And we're writing business plans and all these just grand ideas. And we were like, okay, well, what are we going to do until then, right? So we're not going to get jobs, and we got to keep ourselves unemployed so that we can focus on all these huge ideas. And I was fortunate enough at the time, Coriana, my wife, was messing around going downtown LA and buying some jewelry product and just making jewelry for herself and for friends. And so we thought, all right, we'll sell this for a little bit until we figure out what we're doing. And then here we are 16 years later, and this is all we've been doing. So it kind of turned out to be a one-trick pony. All those other grand ideas got kind of put to the side. But this is what we've been doing, and really falling in love with the category of jewelry for many reasons. And a lot of it goes back to what you're talking about. It's not a necessary thing by any means, especially during COVID, everything going on. You don't need jewelry. You definitely don't need to be buying jewelry. but there's an emotional aspect to it, and people get attached to it. And so for that reason, I think we found a lot of success.
I think too, though, you talk about you don't need to buy jewelry, but in these types of times,
Yeah.
exotic cars and jewelry and other things can provide some great profit for people, as well as emotional support, and meaning that, there's so many people that you can help out by buying their jewelry because they need cash. And you can buy that knowing that when things turn back around, there's a huge margin in there. And
Right.
I don't apologize for buying things low and selling them high, right?
Right.
Things are worth what someone's willing to buy it for or sell it for. And one of the expertise that I try to find myself in an abundant nature is to look and see the things that I can buy that are oversold. And
Sure.
jewelry is one of those things. How do you keep your emotions yourself, because you're in the business of it, especially your wife's making pieces as well and can become emotionally attached to a piece? How do you keep your emotions out of your business?
Well, that's an interesting aspect. I don't know that we actually do.
Okay.
Yeah, I tend to think that your emotions are kind of intertwined to who you are and who you're wired as a human being. And I often think that our emotions are what sometimes make us make some of the worst business decisions. And our emotions are often at times what help us sometimes make some of the craziest business decisions, which end up being some of the best business decisions. So we really don't keep it to it. And I don't want people to either. I want people who are buying our product and buying our jewelry to be emotionally attached. I always use the analogy, like I've got this ring that was my grandfather's. He was born he's passed away now, but he was born in 1917. And when he passed, the ring didn't fit my dad's finger and it didn't fit my uncle's finger. So I was fortunate enough it came down to me. And there's an attachment to it. There's an energy you feel to it that lasts forever. Whereas, it wouldn't have been maybe as emotional to say, hey, I inherited a pair of his shoes or an old pair of his pants. There's something in the jewelry, partly because of the frequency of it, right? The metal, the stones, it carries an energy that I think transcends time, and it transcends physical nature. And I think that's what makes jewelry so emotional for people. Even Coriana, I'll hear her at times say, "Oh my gosh, I lost an earring," and I said, "Well, okay, you got plenty of other earrings," but you get emotionally attached to that one piece, and I think that's been the important part, that we focus on putting a very positive vibration in the product that we're putting out, so that when people are wearing it and they feel that positive vibration and all that positive intention and energy that we're putting into the product that we're putting out.
Yeah, I think that's really cool, because there is a dynamic that goes beyond, the emotional vibration or frequency that it has, because it actually is made of material.
That's right.
And a lot of the materials, stones, metals that are utilized for, centuries have been healing in nature. They've been perspective building in nature, a variety of different things that you can do to increase or enhance that frequency. Are you guys cognizant of that frequency? And
Yeah, 100%. Because, I'll tell you, when we first started, we were, right? And when we first started, we would make things with stones and we would just say, oh, it's a color, it's a green and it's red. And I really had no idea. I myself, we weren't really into that stuff. And it was funny because when we first started the business and we are kind of getting off our apartment floor, we found ourselves in Laguna Beach, which I was just there because it seemed like a cool town and there's good waves, and you're not there. And then you get in there and you're like, wow, this is really an interesting little town. It's very metaphysical. Not only was it founded by an artist colony and an artist community of people, but there's just this whole energy where you find out that the town itself has got quartz and sediment inside in the ground, and it's up against the water, and it kind of creates this vibrational frequency. And people are kind of trippy. You're walking around, you're like, oh, I don't know. And you're going to there's a store actually in town called the Chakra Shack, and you walk in there and you're trying to find out what's going on. And then as it started unfolding, you started going, wow, this is pretty awesome. And we started taking some trips to other places that have, high metaphysical energies like Sedona and things like that. And then you start realizing, wait a minute, we could actually marry these two things, where we could take the stones and put them in the product that we're doing, and then also educate people about it. And started educating ourselves about chakras and the different chakras and the frequencies of those. And kind of how can we bring that back to our product, right? So then I started getting pretty fascinated with it, because to your point, you talk about metal even, right? Or just let's take copper. I mean, that's how we used to talk to each other, right? It was remember the game you play with a kid with a wire?
Yeah.
And a cup, and you talk, rah, 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 you don't really know what's going on. But there was some energetic frequency coming across, and even if you couldn't hear the words, you could feel if was I mad, was I laughing, what was going on. You can kind of feel that energy, and now we're feeling that energy without wires, right? But I think you forget about that. You forget that there's intention in everything. We see it in the water that we drink. It could be in anything. You can feel positive and negative energy, and so we felt by doing that and putting it in the product, starting with the stones, and then we took it even a step further, and I started messing around with sound frequencies and harmonizing the product with different sound frequencies based on what was going on, and just putting this vibrational layer inside the product without people really kind of knowing it, because we don't want to freak people out either, right? So you have to kind of breadcrumb people. I have figured that out, right? So
Yeah.
this might be the first time on record I'm actually telling you what we're doing, right?
No, that's cool though. That's cool because there is, like, for me, I always have the caveat. Look, I trace calligraphies. I'm a huge energy person. In fact, you know, my first book, Connected to Goodness, I talk about the movie Blink, where people talk negatively to water and it turns brown.
It has an impact.
Out of all the things I've ever written, right? Four best-selling books, all the things I've ever written, the one thing that gets the most crap from, like, legitimate reviewers, right? The editors on Goodreads or whatever. If you look, the 1-star reviews, the reason they give me a 1-star review is they're like, this is some California woo-woo BS dude that thinks you can talk to water. And look,
that's right.
I'm sorry. Why can't I believe that I can get karmic downloads from calligraphies if I trace them every morning by myself? Why
100%.
can't I believe I can talk to water or plants, right? If two things. One, there's no risk to me or anybody else, right? No risk. If you tell me your ring carries some sort of energy and I wear the ring, there's no risk to anyone else. And two, if it works for me, right? And so like one of the most agitating, aggravating, and frustrating projections, judgments, and conditions anyone is these expert book review people that can't even open their mind. They don't like a book because of an idea that is expressed in a movie that I'm reporting on that I believe in. That I
because they can't get their head around it. They can't. But I often find, I'm sure you do too, when people get real emotional about what you're saying, usually I'm like, okay, I'm on the right path here because I'm kind of at least breaking someone open a little bit. Although that might not be the most ideal way that I want to break them open. But when people get real passionate about saying, well, you know what you're talking about. And to your point, worst case scenario, let's just say it's a placebo effect. Let's say there's no real science to it. It's just something I'm doing to make myself feel good. I'm talking to my water, or I'm putting positive intention in my food or whatever. That's totally fine. Maybe it's all made up. But either way, it's still making me feel good, so it's still working. And if it isn't a placebo effect, which I don't feel that it really is, because there's been sciences, to your point, there's been studies done, and you can take I love you and I hate you and put it on 2 cups of the same water and freeze it, and the formation of it looks completely different just from the intention and the vibration of the word and the thought and what are thoughts and where are they, and so I'm 100% in agreement with everything that you're saying. So
yeah, and I love, jewelry has so many different facets to it, like you said, because it holds an ancestral energy too, and you had mentioned that with your own. I think it was your grandfather's ring, right?
Correct.
Right. And I know that I talk about a quantum memory that we have to deal with every day, that if you're not looking at least 4 generations in your past to figure out what you're made of, the same way what a jewel or a stone is made of.
That's right.
You can see the obsessions, addictions, personality traits, characteristics that are quantum in your being, meaning they're built into you just like a stone. There's an energy that you're born with, and you can see it. If anyone has kids, you can see they're born in a certain way. That's a quantum memory. So I think that aspect of ancestral energy as well carries even more of an emotional impact, all the way down. I love the blend from the highest metaphysical beliefs that you and I seem to share, all the way down to if you go to New York, these guys, but some of the most closed-minded, pragmatic, capitalistic people in the world work with jewelry as well.
Yeah. Right? I know. It's making me think I just watched that movie during quarantine, Uncut Gems with Adam Sandler. It's a great movie. I've seen it, but it's so true, because it's just such this weird blend of everything that's going on, because he's kind of chasing capitalism, but yet Kevin Garnett kind of falls in love with the stone because it makes him play good. And it's like this weird intersect, which is very true with most things, right? There's always this intersect between passion and art, and then monetization, right? And I always say, like, look, money's made up. I mean, this is a made up thing. So when you're intersecting something that's made up with something that's not made up, it can kind of make an interesting dichotomy. But I'm with you. I mean, listen, I believe that certain things like jewelry and vibrational frequencies, smells, even our senses of smell and taste, they transcend space and time, right? So there's not, even during quarantine recently, we've been ordering some food being delivered. Like I had pizza from Joe's in New York delivered here in the desert in California, and I'm eating Joe's pizza in the desert, and I'm like, I can't reconcile my body's like, it's like an out of body experience right now, because I'm eating this pizza that I'm normally always eating in New York City, and now I'm in the desert and I'm looking at palm trees, and it's like, it was really weird. It was you know, it was like hallucinogenic. So I believe that, to your point, that we got to take things further back, right? We get so caught up in like our lives now and being born and what we're aware of right now in this little cycle, and you got to go way, way, way back to find all those patterns inside yourself and inside others and then inside other things around you to really kind of understand what's going on. So it's awesome that you're doing that stuff. I mean, you're way ahead.
Yeah. Well, dealing with frequencies and then currencies, right? You talked about made up energies. It's really
Right.
Currency is an object of energy we put into the flow to get what we want. Jewelry,
That's right.
gems, stones, metals, and money are all currencies. There's
That's
objects
right.
of energies we put into the flow. And
Right.
I'm so appreciative. Where can people find you guys if they're interested in
Well, you know, we've got our website, georgeanna.com, georgeanna.com, and then we've got, right now we've got 16 retail stores. 3 of them are in New York. Those are just getting open back up. And then we've got 1 out in Scottsdale, Arizona, and then the rest are out here in the crazy state of California, up and down the coast. So Malibu, Laguna, La Jolla, San Francisco, Venice, pretty much anywhere, any cool spot in California, you're going to probably find one of our stores.
Right on. Real quick, I have to know, what was your original business you wanted to go into?
You know, that was the funny thing when I was thinking, when I got asked to do this with you, was like, I had a lot of them. I mean, I was talking about making a movie. You know, I was trying to produce this guy. He had a rap album. I mean, sports agency was one of them I was actually interested in doing some athletic representation. But you know what? That was probably the biggest one, because when I was in law school, you know, Jerry Maguire came out, and I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, this is what I got to do.
Right.
But you know, at the end of it, what you realize, anything in any business, it's just about people. It's just about human interaction and human energy. And like, to your point, the rest is just a transaction, just a currency that was injected in all of this to try to set some level to it. But it's all about the passion and the communicational connection you make with people. So,
I tell all aspiring sports agents and past aspiring sports agents, you know, Jerry Maguire was not a sports film. It's absolutely just a love story. So if you've been suckered into that movie, you got a big heart, man. It's just a love story, and you got fooled into wanting to be a sports agent because of Renee Zellweger. So.
That's right, because it was like, wait a minute, there's all this, but that's the thing, like, right? You fall in with the romantic aspect of something, and you don't realize, like anything else, it's got a lot of transactional stuff that's not that romantic, right? So
exactly, it's just a backdrop to me, man. I appreciate it so much.
Of course, man.
Thank you. We'll do this again. Stay cool,
for sure.
Stay calm,
peace, love.
Peace.
Put that frequency out, man. And you know what? Here's the last thing I'm gonna tell you. You can send me connectivity. You can send me energy. I'll be sending it back to you. We might not actually confirm with it. We might not talk on the phone. We might not talk on Instagram. But I can receive. You can receive. We can send without all the connection. We don't have to have that confirmation that we're sending positive energy to each other. So I'll be sending it to you, man. Peace, love, and best of luck to you. All right.
Vice versa. Thank you for coming on and teaching us. Take care.
All right.
Right on. That's my kind of start to the day. Don't forget, Friday, we're going to talk about time and the management of time, the efficiency, the effectiveness, and statistical success of using time to get what you want to be happy in life. The road to revenue and happiness is what we're talking about. 11 a.m. tomorrow, 949-298-2905. David at dmeltzer.com. Let's jump on. What's up, Carney? We got questions rolling and jolling there. Here we go. How do you strengthen your vocabulary? Never asked before. Great question. Thank you. Look up words. It's so important to look up words. It also is a confirmation that you're more interested than interesting. I've gone through so much of my life, including college and law school, just allowing words to pass by that I didn't know their meaning. So if you want to increase your vocabulary, if you want to be more interested than interesting, look up the words. It's never been easier to look up the words. I used to have to carry a dictionary with me to look up those words. Now they have this iPhone thing that allows. Liam, what's up, mate? What's going on? I'm live here, and so interesting. I will give you a call after this, my friend. Thank you for DMing me there. We'll go through. Let's see. Do you believe in physical discipline? As a person who received physical discipline, I believe it does more damage than probably good. I assume from your parents. I personally don't see any reason to physically touch another person to discipline them. I don't see any reason to do that. I think, Jewish guilt works way better. And, that's, it hurts way more. Getting hit goes away really quick. Jewish guilt doesn't. I'm still dealing with it at 52. All kidding aside, like, be a ferocious Buddha. You don't need to physically discipline anyone, right? Let's use our higher power of thinking, our higher selves, to empower and inspire people by teaching them the lessons. There's enough pain, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial pain that exists to indicate that we have lessons to learn. We don't have to create it ourselves. That's my personal opinion. Here we go. How do you keep passion even when you feel negative or tired? Negativity will make you tired, right? Negativity will suck your soul. And so the way that I stay inspired is to clear those interferences, to clear those corrosions between me and that unbelievable source of power, light, and love that I'm always connected to. And so I try to cancel, clear, connect the negativity. And that allows me to have more energy. And so being a ferocious Buddha, being number one, aware and to identify ego-based emotion, the need to be right, offended, separate, inferior, superior, anxious, frustrated, angry, anything that interferes with that powerful source of energy that I'm connected to, and any negativity that I have that's connected to other people, and need to be offended, resentful, all types of different expectations that are just illusions that I've made up to create a disconnect or a separation. That's exactly how we run out of energy and we get tired. You should never be tired, right? You should just physically, when you're out of energy, you should pass out. And that's why I have a wind down routine. That's why I wake up at 4 a.m. every day, is I do not want any energy left when I pass out somewhere between 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. every single day. All right. Very good. Let's keep these questions coming. Thank you. What's your number one guilty pleasure? French fries. French fries for sure. I love French fries. McDonald's French fries. No advertisements necessary, but yes, I do. Come join me Friday, 949-298-2905. David@dmeltzer.com. Reach out to me if you want free book, you want free guides, you want to come to training for free. Everything's free. Just register 949-298-2905 or David@dmeltzer.com. See, Justin's laughing at that because he knows. All right, the story on your suit jacket with your dad was dope. How do you use your dad as motivation daily? I use the lessons, good and bad, of my dad daily, right? I have those lessons with me, through me, and as well as other people that have been significant role models in my life, good and bad. What I love about my father the most is that he has so many extraordinary aspects to him that I learned from in the positive. And he also had some negative ones as well. And I've learned to take all of the pain from both and learn from them to better myself, knowing that, your own father and mother are great indicators of what your quantum nature, your personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions are. So, potato chips and French fries are closely tied. Yeah, Colleen, absolutely. Guilty pleasures. Is there a balance between thinking introspectively versus analyzing your reality? Is there a balance between? Yeah, there. you, the balance that I think that exists between thinking introspectively within yourself and analyzing your reality is that I believe everything that's outside of yourself, your reality is your perspective, and your perspective is projected from your introspective. So your introspective is projected into your perspective, and your perspective is your reality. So if you're analyzing your reality, you're eventually going to analyze your introspection, your perspective that you're projecting into your perspective, which creates your reality. Never kind of articulated it that way. Yes, I recommend the 4 laws for sure. Do you see schools trying to reopen by August? You know, I love those types of questions, because that would mean that I'm in control of the future. I don't know. I don't know. I am hopeful that schools will reopen as soon as possible. I think the socialization that occurs in schools, the education that occurs in schools is parallel to nothing else I can think of. As much as I love educating my kids at home, school's a wonderful place to learn how to connect and all these other things that are unspoken. And our heroes, our teachers who are underpaid, also, I hope we get to go back to school for their own well-being is in addition. Are you going to buy some dog coin? I don't know what that is. Email me, david@dmeltzer.com, and let me know what that is. Daniel will be happy to learn more. It sounds pretty cool. What's your favorite tip for time management? Student your calendar. And I'm going to go deep into student your calendar. I can change everyone's life. Every 4 minutes I can save you every day is 24 hours of productivity a year. So absolutely. Someone saw, congratulations, your boy Lee on Mahomes signing. No one's better than Lee Steinberg at that. The first, the biggest history. The man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame for what he's done for professional football. No doubt about it. But more than congrats to Lee, congrats to Patrick Mahomes. Wow. Congratulations. I love guys that get paid for being the best. And that's what Patrick is. So congratulations. How can you have better social skills and have a fun personality? Practice. That's a really good question. You could practice your social skills. Asking and attracting is a great way to practice your social skills. Ask for help. Ask how you can be of value of service to others. Ask how you can be more productive, accessible, and gracious. Ask. Practice your social skills. That's for sure. Practice, not progress. How important is it to duplicate and replicate yourself via delegations of tasks and omnipresence? So scaling activity is what you want to look at. How important is it to scale activity that you do, especially activity you get paid for? Extremely important. If you can scale activity you get paid for and get your percentage off of that and create a margin from that, you are going to be exponentially, quantitatively more successful than anybody else. Okay? So that's awesome. Let's keep the questions coming. These are really good, by the way. How do you refine a new purpose after you accomplish a big goal of your own? How do you refine a new purpose after you accomplish a big goal? So for me, it's enjoying the consistent, everyday, persistent, without quit pursuit of your own potential. So as goals or milestones are reached, you should already have had, bigger asks in mind. And so, as you get closer and closer through the pursuit of your potential to a certain accomplishment or milestone, you should have the next one ready for you. Something bigger, better, and, you cannot out-ask the universe. So keep them coming, keep dreaming, keep asking, keep going. What's going? Getting off your ass. How do you spend your income wisely? Save it. That's how I spend it. I pay myself. The smartest thing that I've ever learned is if you just pay yourself at least 10% of everything you make, and then create your own budget according to the rest that's left over, I promise you'll never have to work again. There's something called compound interest. It is actually the same effectuation of being successful in consistent, persistent behavior. Just saving every single penny, 10% of it, you'll be fine. Trust me. Alrighty. Jakey, who am I going live with now? Someone had a question for me. You told me. Can I see on there, Jake, who that is real quick? I'm having trouble finding it. Pay yourself always first and then budget yourself. Raj Shah, is that who we're supposed to answer a question from? How do you deal with transition periods? My whole life is a transition period. Just finished law school in May. Your whole life is transitioning to the better. You're growing. Do you know, visited Vadodara, India? Tell about that journey. Yes, I visited Vadodara and I loved it. And Ecall Vit will be on next. I don't see Ecall here. But yes, I was in Vadodara with Jake, who's on here, and had an extraordinary opportunity to speak to the young entrepreneurs. With the minister was there as well, and just extraordinary minds. There we go. Let me answer a question real quick from India. Let's see who we got here. The entrepreneur cell. We'll answer a quick question or two live. I pay everyone else first. No, you got to pay yourself first. Oh, not allowing me to join there, Jakey Bakes. Dropped him. Anyway, love Vadodara. Love entrepreneurship in India. Some great entrepreneurs there. Absolutely. Very, very, very cool. Abhish Varshini, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me answer some more questions. Daniel, let's go. Here we go. How can I handle my time? Well, you got to study it. If you study your time with a lens of productivity, a lens of accessibility, and a lens of gratitude, if you study your time, what is studying? Paying attention to and giving intention to what you think, say, do, and believe, and even understanding your personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions, you then will create the coincidences that you want in your life, a mathematical occurrence of everything happening at the right way at the perfect time. Other people will call you lucky. I will call you coincidental, a mathematical occurring caused by how you handle your time. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow at 11 a.m. Speaking of time, Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. You can register for free anytime, david@dmeltzer.com. You can get my books for free at david@dmeltzer.com. You can get your guides and training exercises for free at david@dmeltzer.com, or text me at 949-298-2905. Go ahead and post those up there. Some of my team members in there. Michael, I saw you just woke up. You might want to post those up there. Welcome. Oh, hold on. I think I see our friends from the Entrepreneur Cell in India. Let's see if we can get them to join us now. Attention plus intention. Welcome, welcome. There we go. Team Meltzer. Having trouble connecting to India, unfortunately. I can continue to answer questions. Hopefully it'll connect here. Join me tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific. We have thousands of people registered and are able to empower others to be happy. The road to revenue. That's perfect. I'm trying to connect there. Will not connect. Come on, everybody. You want the free book? I think Blaine just pinned up there, dmeltzer.com/book. I am waiting. Give me some more questions. I'll see what goes on here. It's not allowing them to connect. Let's see here. How I can start making more money. What is the common issue? Connect the dots backwards. If you want to make more money, then get better at what you do. Look at your own capabilities, your skills, your knowledge, and your desire. The best way is to find something that is doing well now, find how your capabilities are synergistic or supplementary to that, and then figure out how to buy or sell it, broker it, agent it, channel partner it. Do you hear me? Go find what's doing well now. Go find something that's doing well now. See what capabilities you have that are synergistic or supplementary to what's doing well now. And then go ahead and see how you can buy or sell it, agent it, broker it, or channel partner it so that you can create a margin for yourself. Why would you struggle with things that aren't doing well now? You can find those things right away. Let's try one more time to join for the questions. Connections in India sometimes are just too tough. They don't have a good enough connection to get. Oh, there it's connecting. See, consistent, persistent behavior. It said connected. Come on, give me a break, everybody. We try. Let's get another question in here. Jakey, I'm trying, man. I'm doing my best. What's the most strongest receiving value? Your English grammar. What is the most strongest receiving value? So to shift the paradigm of receiving, everybody thinks the more you give, the more you get. What I want you to think is the more you receive, the more you can give. So your worthiness, the more worthy that you feel you are, the bigger you can ask, because you can't out ask the universe. If you can work on how worthy you are, so there's no interference, corrosion, void, shortages, and obstacles on you receiving, the more receiving and comfortable you are receiving, the more you'll give. That's the best way to do that. Let's try one last time here as I'm getting back. We'll give it one more try. Can you share some tips for starting small businesses? Yeah, get started, get help. Ask and find someone that sits in the situation that you want to be in and ask them for help. Do not quit. Stay consistent and persistent in the pursuit of that potential. Stay in business is the number one rule of starting a business. Go ahead and put as much investment in yourself. Esel from India, why don't you go ahead and just post your question up there? It's not going to let you in. The connectivity is not good enough in India. So go ahead and post your question so I can answer it. How can I bring my idea to reality with no resources and money? How can I find an investor? Well, you better change your attitude. Think about it. Read what you wrote. With no resources, no money, how can I find an? Who's going to want to invest with you? You got to figure out, take inventory in what you are and what you want. That's a resource. You're a resource, right? You're the reason people will invest in you. And that's why, if you can quantify the reasons why people should invest in you, quantify the impact that you're going to have with their money, and quantify the capabilities that you have, everyone's going to want to invest in you. The more secure they feel that their investment is going to double, triple, quadruple, 100 times their investment, the more people will want to invest in you. And so, when people tell me I have no money or resources, who's going to invest in me, or how can I get investment? You can't. You can't. You are a resource. You are the main resource. Figure that out. Articulate that. Come on. Let's wake up. Let's make this happen. All right. I do not see the questions there. I'm going to give one more question. It's Friday. Trainings on time management. I promise I will make you more efficient, effective, and statistically successful. We're going to give you the power of 64. Every day you're going to have 64 hours of productivity. 64 hours. That's literally 8 days of productivity, 7 days a week. Every week you'll have 56 days of productivity. Almost 3 months of what more normal people work or work. Macy, welcome. Glad to see you, Jordan. What do you look for when investing in people? Do you invest in companies or people? Well, you got to invest in both. So I'm looking for, number one, the person that's not going to quit. I'm looking for someone that is consistent, persistent in the pursuit of their potential. I'm looking for someone that must be what they can be, because I know they'll allow. I'm looking for someone that's radically humble and asks for help. These are all the things that I look for. The better the business, better the chance I have. But sometimes there's someone that's onto something, and I just know they'll find it. Other people have great ideas, but they're not the leaders to take it there. They're going to quit. It's, even the greatest ideas are tough. Go ahead. McDonald's was a great idea, the Sir Speedy system, and that was a tough business. Ask the McDonald's brothers, until a real entrepreneur, Ray Kroc, took that over and made it into what it is today. And even though he made it into what today, if he did not, in his 50s, have an attitude that he must be what he can be, it ain't happening. So, there's the business side of it, but more importantly, there's the entrepreneur. And the common denominator between all successful people is they must be what they can be, whether they're athletes, celebrities, entertainers, or business people, executives, philanthropists, it doesn't matter. Very good. Once again, Esel there, I see. Abivarshini, I accepted your request 5 times. So please just give me your question. I'll try it one more time, but your connectivity is not allowing you to come through. Come join me Friday, by the way. Have everyone there in India. Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time. I have tried 6 different ways. Once again, hitting going live. It will not allow you to join. It says connect. Oh, there we go.
Hi, sir. Sorry for all the confusion.
Thank you for your patience. That's fine. What's the question? How are you?
Yes, sir. I'm totally good. How are you?
I'm phenomenal. Loving
Yes, sir.
this and can't wait to answer your question.
And how was
I
the week
fought
done
for
for
this
you?
question.
Yes, sir. Of course. I have a lot of questions for you. Not just one, but many.
Okay,
Okay.
let's start.
Okay. So, how do you think the lockdown situation has affected us, affected businesses in general, and existing companies, and how have they been affected? How do you think they can come out of it?
Like a lemon. So I think the businesses have been affected like a lemon. What do I mean by that? When you squeeze a lemon, lemon juice comes out. When businesses are squeezed, individual entrepreneurs, executives, and everyone's squeezed with compressed times of uncertainty, we get to find out what's inside of us. What are the most efficient, effective, and statistically successful ways that we can reorganize and re-engineer our own vision as well as our values? And so we are compressed in the nature of finding our own inventory of what we have, what we don't have, of what values that we want to work with and for. But more importantly and simplistically, we are all like lemons. When you squeeze a lemon, we get to find out what's inside a lemon. What's happening right now is we get to, for the first time, question our own existence. Therefore, we get to find out what's truly inside of us. And when we see that, we now can make better decisions on how to be happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Yes, sir, I completely agree. And also, many platforms and many other business opportunities, such as e-learning and online platforms, have sprung up. And COVID itself has presented itself as both a boon and a bane. And what are your suggestions to, startups that we're planning on in the next few months? What are your suggestions to, make it better, make it more successful than it would be?
Well, one great thing about being a startup right now is there's a lot of new problems, and
Yeah.
new problems need new solutions. New solutions are always provided by entrepreneurs. That provides an opportunity. It's up to the entrepreneur to see how synergistic and supplementary their capabilities are to those new problems and those new opportunities. And it's the best time, in my opinion, to be an entrepreneur, because in the history of the last century, there has never been more problems that need to be addressed with more solutions. And there's more capable people that are freelancers or entrepreneurs in order to effectuate that solution.
Yes, sir. And also, can you give an insight into digital marketing? You yourself, you put yourself out there in Instagram and YouTube and all other social media platforms, and in general, in digital marketing is skyrocketing in the current era. So, what are your suggestions? What do you think about this? Do you think traditional marketing is obsolete when compared to digital marketing, or do you suggest
Absolutely not.
otherwise?
I think the biggest advantage I have is I understand marketing, right? I understand what marketing is in person, on the phone, via email, and all media, radio, print, TV, social media. And because of that, understanding that each of those things carry their own strength of a signal, they address a certain spectrum of people and allow to me to have a clear, impactful message that will resonate not only quantitatively, but emotionally. And utilizing that, social media itself allows me to do 4 things: one, by itself, but also in person, on the phone, via email, and the other aspects of media. What social media allows you to do is capture what we do in person, on the phone, via email, radio, print, and TV. It allows me to modify what we do in person, on the phone, via email, radio, print, and TV. It allows me to amplify what I do in person, on the phone, via email, radio, print, and TV. And it allows me to perpetuate what I do in person, on the phone, via email, and radio, print, and TV. When you understand how integrated social media is with the actual idea, as Shakespeare quoted centuries ago, the whole world is a stage. So you use it and capture, modify, amplify, and perpetuate it with social media. But in no way does social media work or stand by itself.
Yes, sir. That's a different point of view I've never thought of. Also, you have gone through a lot of ups and downs in your career as an entrepreneur, especially your time during bankruptcy and all the other hardships that entail it. What kept you motivated after it? Like, what pushed you to, get out of the situation? What was your inspiration? What was holding you up?
For me, my inspiration has always been to help somebody or something. So even initially, when I grew up very poor as a child, I wanted to buy my mom a house and a car. I always wanted to provide for others. I just had the wrong relationship with money and giving. And so for me, what motivated me were four things, in understanding now that everything comes through me, that I no longer would I live in a world of not enough as a victim, where things happen to me and I never had enough. Not ever would I live in a world of just enough, where things would make me happy because I bought them, or buying things I didn't need to impress people I didn't like. But instead, I was going to live my life where everything came through me. I truly was going to have faith in a world of abundance, where there's more than enough of everything for everyone, and everything would come through me. So I don't give to get. I receive so I can give. And I live in an abundant world where everything comes through me with appreciation, gratitude, and my ability to add value, so I can give it away to empower and inspire other people, which came to me my main mission in life, which is to empower 1,000 people like you, who will empower 1,000 people to empower 1,000 people to be happy. 1,000 times 1,000 is a million times 1,000 is a billion. And there's plenty of billions of people in India that you can help me inspire to simply be happy. Happiness is the greatest disease, the greatest virus. It'll strengthen everyone emotionally, physically, financially. It actually will strengthen your immune system. It'll protect you against the COVID as well as other diseases. I promise you, happy people don't attack other people. Happy people have enough of everything for everyone. And I just want them to be happy. That's what motivates and inspires me.
Yes, sir, that's truly inspiring. And when you look back, what is one thing that you would have definitely changed, and you wish you had known it before?
Two words: radical humility. The same lesson that I would teach myself at 12, 22, 32, 42, or 52 today, I would teach myself radical humility. Not just how I could be of service or value, but most humbling, how I could ask for help. I literally live my life by not knowing what I don't know, not being afraid of being a hypocrite, taking inventory of my personal experiential giving and receiving values every single day in order to effectuate humility. The fact that I need help, and my biggest quest of being more interested and interesting is to find people who sit in the situation that I want to be in and ask them, do you know anyone that can help me? And allow everyone to be a sponsor or a power sponsor of mine, and have no more gatekeepers, no more interference, no more void shortages and obstacles that are created by me. Instead, everything will be connected and in the flow to provide more value and abundance to all.
So you talk about consistency and how it's the key to success. What are your views on it? What would you suggest that we do?
Okay. Consistency is the understanding of the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious continuum. Consistency is the understanding that our cellular memory, our conscious being, is stupid. Our senses cannot pick up or remember what we've learned unless we're consistent about it. Consistency also incorporates faith. So not only does it derive from the ability to input data into not only our conscious, but our subconscious, but also our unconscious. So if we have repetitive behaviors that eventually will create neural pathways in our mind, create 40,000 of the same thoughts that we have in our subconscious, they actually will communicate with our quantum being, our DNA, our own frequency. It'll change our personality traits, characteristics, obsessions, and addictions. Consistency, though, takes one thing: faith. When I say faith, I mean that we cannot only be aware that our cellular structure and our memory and our senses are all weak, but even moreover, we have to detach ourselves from an outcome. We don't see the progress that we're making every single day. It's so incremental. To become exponential, it's frustrating. And so those people who are consistent have faith that by being consistent, by being persistent, by enjoying the pursuit of that potential, that eventually that potential will arrive, that the exponentiality and growth and expansiveness and acceleration will allow us to get what we want in a more rapid and accurate way, even though every day while we're pursuing it, we don't see any results.
Sir, growing up, for me, the shows such as The Apprentice and Shark Tank were really a big inspiration to, even think of a career in business. What inspired you? Anything, any shows or books or writers that inspired you?
So first of all, Apprentice never inspired me.
Okay.
Shark Tank educated me on what criteria to look for in a business. As far as inspiration goes, I use greater, higher sources of inspiration. People like Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, Dr. Wayne Dyer, The Power of Intention, Course in Miracles with Marianne Williamson, movies like Rocky. Someone had that up there. But yeah, I think, if you look at, TV shows like those two shows, one, at least Shark Tank is a positive show that shows the aspects of quantitative value and how investment can be made. The Apprentice to me is just a, low vibration TV show that, to me really is not very inspiring at all, and not really, helpful at all. But for me, inspiring are those books that have been around, in the podcasts that have been around, that actually inspire you to do good, that are positive in nature, to expand, accelerate, and grow. I have time for one more question.
Okay, one more. Also, yeah, so when starting off with a business, it's important to be a go-getter and, be really motivated. So, uh, what do you think sets out, you know, normal startups from the ones that are actually successful?
I think there's one common denominator, and that's the ability to must be what you can be. I'll finish up. I've said this before, but exponentiality, growth, acceleration are hard to determine. It takes a lot of faith, and so it takes someone that must be what they can be. Most people don't realize there's no such thing as an overnight success. 99% of all the people quit before they get to 25% of the way there. Another 99% of the 1% quit before they get to 50% there. And in just half the time of that 1% of the 1%, those are the ones that get to 100% of the way there, 200, 400, and 800 in half as much time exponentially. And so I think that ability to have faith in your best, in your potential, to not allow yourself to quit and to consistently, persistently pursue that potential is the key. So you must be what you can be. And I know someone like you must be what she must and can be. And I appreciate you taking the time to ask me all these terrific questions. Thank you so,
Thank you,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank
you for
you.
your patience. Take care.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
All righty. That was very educational, helping everybody there in India. I appreciate it. Don't quit, don't stop, and enjoy. Find the light, the love, and the lessons in everything that you do. Enjoy the pursuit. It's the key to life. You're not going to love anything 100% of the way. So learn to love, then find the light, the love, and the lessons, and the percentage of the things that you don't love. All right? Perfect. Very good, everyone. Remember, tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, get your free registration. just go ahead, david@dmeltzer.com or 949-298-2905. Thank you, Working Stiffs, for making me look so good. I even got my flyaway versions of them. I love these things. I'm trying to figure out all types of different applications for the super strong magnets, and they even got them for golf shirts. I'm waiting for those to come. Anyway, thank you, everybody. 949-298-2905, david@dmeltzer.com. Evan Carmichael, very last one to come in just to say hi. What's up, my brother? How are you? Go, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. See you tomorrow at Free Training. Be kind to your future self and do good deeds. Have a wonderful day.